So I've already talked about how Lumity is pretty much the greatest relationship in animation ever, as well as the tragic love story of Ida and Rain. So I guess that means the next Owl House ship that's up for discussion is Hunter and Willow, or Huntlow as they're known by the fandom, or Winter if you prefer. Now before we discuss their relationship, let's take a dive into both characters individually. Firstly, there's Willow Park. When we were first introduced to her, she's a shy witch who is ostracized by her peers at Hexside due to the perception that she's weak when it comes to magic. A half-witch if you will. However, after being switched to the plant magic track where her true talents lie, she eventually grows more competent, coming out of her shell by putting herself out there socially, along with finding a new passion in sports. And then you have Hunter, who is basically this generation's Zuko. We are first introduced to Hunter in Season 2 as the Golden Guard, the new face of the Emperor's Cupboard and the nephew of Emperor Bellos. He's pretty much Bellos' right-hand man, enforcing his will on the citizens of the Boiling Isles, along with performing tasks to help advance his plans. Hunter is loyal to his uncle, despite the fact that their relationship is clearly toxic and abusive.
So you return with nothing? Is this the thanks I get for taking you in?
And if you told me how wild magic did this to you, I might be able to find out.
Which results in him having a lack of self-worth.
We're both trying to show what we can bring to the table. And we can't fail, because there's nothing worse than disappointing someone who thinks you're special. That's just life, Red. Everyone has a use, and if you don't, bye-bye!
However, throughout the season, we see him grow as a person as he encounters several characters from the main cast. And then, his entire world gets turned upside down upon discovering Bellos' true colors, and that everything he once knew was a lie. Plus, he now has an existential crisis after it was revealed to him that he's a Grimwalker, a copy of Bellos' brother, whom he murdered. But after several events, he accepts his newfound friendships in Gus and Willow, and joins in the rebellion against Bellos. So both Hunter and Willow are interesting and well-developed characters on their own. So what about their relationship with each other? Well, Hunter brushed when he was around Willow a couple of times. Yeah, they have yet to actually become a couple. So far, there had only been a handful of interactions between these two, and there hasn't been much significant chemistry that shows that they have the potential to become a couple. Due to the lack of development for these two potential lovebirds as of now, I personally find it a bit hard to get fully on board this ship. I don't know, guess I'm just the kind of guy who needs a decent number of interactions and chemistry between two characters, in order to feel hyped over the possibility that they'll end up together at some point. Granted, there's some cute fanon stuff involving Huntlow, but so far, I prefer that over the canon, simply because there's more of it. I guess there's also this supposed deep connection between the two of them that the show attempts to portray, and that's the fact that they're both half-witches.
Well, where I come from, even chances have to be earned. Especially if you're considered half a witch like me.
I thought I could be good at this, but we're here because I made a bad call. I'm just half a witch Willow.
Although, and this is most definitely an unpopular opinion of mine, but I don't think their situations are entirely comparable. You see, when Hunter refers to himself as a half-witch, I'd assume he's talking about the fact that he has no natural magical abilities, and is pretty much useless without a staff. Meanwhile, Will has a natural talent for plant magic, which she is extremely OP at. She just initially chose a track that didn't suit her abilities, which led to the perception that she's weak at magic in general. Now, I'm not undermining what Willow went through, just pointing out that she and Hunter are incomparable in terms of magical ability. Instead, more emphasis should have been put on the fact that they both struggle with self-doubt, which admittedly sounds pretty compelling. While they shouldn't be each other's therapists for said issues, as that's not what relationships should be used for. But it's a good basis for forming a connection that could lead to a potential romance. But that's the issue with the Hunter x Willow ship. So far, all we have to go up in terms of the show's canon is a one-sided crush. And we really already have 3 episodes left of the Owl House, which gives very little time for this potential relationship to develop any further. And even though each of these last 2 episodes are going to be 42 minutes long each, there are still millions of other different things going on that need to be resolved. And if I'm going to be completely honest, with everything that went down in the season 2 finale, Willow and Hunter's relationship is far from the biggest priority. viability. Also, not gonna lie, I would still rather see more of Lumity and Raeda in these final episodes over Hunter and Willow. To be fair, Luce and Amity's relationship had plenty of episodes to develop. Heck, the show even managed to deliver a compelling story with Ada and Rain's relationship within just a couple of episodes. To put it simply, Hunter and Willow's relationship had only just started very late into the series, and therefore we haven't had as much time to become invested in the two of them compared to Lumity and Raeda. Look, I'm not saying that it's impossible for Hunter and Willow's relationship to be developed further, but it'll definitely be a tough job considering the current circumstances with the show at the moment. I think the best way to go about these two at the moment is to keep the progression of their relationship simple, and not have it take up too much of the focus. There was potential in the fact that they have a connection in terms of going through self-worth issues, but ultimately, the series only had so much time due to being cut short by Disney, and their individual development as characters on their own was prioritized, which to be fair was far more important than shipping. In conclusion, the future of the Huntlow ship is up in the air, and it's uncertain that it will get the growth and development it needs in order to become a solid romance arc. So, I guess all we can do for now is hope for the best. And that was my video on the Huntlow ship. If you enjoyed this video, then be sure to give it a like, share, and comment. Also, subscribe to my channel and hit the bell for notifications. And if you're interested in supporting this channel, then head over to my Patreon. Well, I got nothing else to say, so see ya.